Hello, Acoustics. Welcome to episode 1 of this podcast. So this is kind of going to be a contemporary Christian worship podcast where I kind of talk about some news and advice and encourage musicians as best as I can from a beginner standpoint to encourage beginners to get started with their own music or just understand some songs that are popular and some gear that I think is important to get started with and just stuff like that. So just to get started, my name is Matthew. I'm currently working at a church in Florida in Orange Park, just trying to improve their AV stuff and working with their teens and young adults as well. So I just thought I'd start a podcast to give some advice to those that might be hesitant about getting started with their own music or just figuring out what songs they want to play as a worship leader, just things like that. A lot more kind of things I have planned so far, but yeah, just I would love to hear more about what y'all are interested in, what's going on in the realm of contemporary Christian worship. So please let me know if you have any things that you might want me to talk about in this podcast, any topics or advice you would like me to try and give. I would love to try and be there for that and answer any questions that you might have. So this first episode isn't going to be much advice per se, more just something I've been thinking about. I've been trying to listen to radio more just because I know radio has a lot of news and a lot of cool music and popular music. One second, I need to refresh. I'm working with a really old computer right now, and sometimes my frames drop. So if I just refresh, then it seems to fix my problems for a few minutes. But yeah, so I've been listening to radio, just trying to figure out what songs are popular and what kind of news that they might be hosting in Christian stations, whether that be events that they are hosting or events that might be worth noting that they support. Just stuff like that. Because I think radio stations are great for that. Kind of one of the best sources for events and music, popular music. But one thing I've noticed is radio's just like any other social media platform. They have multiple ways to support and continue their podcast or station. There's the opportunity to get sponsors where companies will give you promo codes or things to encourage people, your listeners, to jump on so that you can get a cut as the station based on who jumps on that opportunity to support that program or platform or whatever you are sponsoring. And I'm lagging again. Okay. But yeah, you'll save the opportunity to do things your own way, whether that be encourage listeners to support you financially or selling your own products, things like that, like a lot of other creators do on other social media platforms like YouTube. That's the only one that comes to mind right now, but other platforms like that give you the opportunity to have your listeners, viewers, support you so that you don't have to worry about sponsorships falling through, things like that. With these listener supported stations, it gives you opportunity to encourage your listeners to support you financially, so you don't have to worry about these sponsors. But when you're a radio station, I feel like it's not as cool, just because most of your content is either music or these gaps between your music. So you're left with using these gaps between your music to focus and push listeners to support you financially, which I feel like for those like me who just can't really financially support you in the way that some people can, it makes it difficult to listen to these stations because I'm overwhelmed, not annoyed, I don't think annoyed is the right word, but overwhelmed by this pressure to give, which, I mean, it's not, it could be worse. I mean, there are like things like Pandora and Spotify who use, they have ads for programs and other companies, but also they have ads to push you to get their subscription to remove those ads. And that's pretty annoying. But the one downside to radio is you're not going to remove those ads, because they're always going to want to try and push sponsors. I need to refresh again, I'm so sorry. They're going to want to push those sponsorships to try to encourage people to, more and more people to support them. Which kind of leaves you with kind of no reward for your return other than keeping that radio station going, which is, I guess, a great benefit. That's actually probably better, because then you always be listening to the radio station. You always have that radio station's music, because some radio stations have the best music. Some radio stations are really good at keeping the music up to date, which is cool. I'm not super annoyed with this. I don't think it's a big deal, but I would love to know why some radio stations do it. I want to know why you chose to go this route. So if you have a listener supported station, I would love to know more about it and why you go this route, and if you think it's the best route, and I would love to know why you think it's the best route and how well it's working, because I think it's cool. I just think it makes it hard to listen to sometimes because I want to focus on the music. I want to focus on events and things that are going on. I don't really care so much about general ads. It's the ads that push me to try and support the radio station financially that I feel like are harder to listen to and sometimes can come off as annoying when I'm not invested in that station. Maybe I should just invest in supporting that station. Maybe that will help. But I don't know. What do I know? So that was kind of the only thing I wanted to talk about. But I want to kind of this to be a 3-part podcast. One of some sort of topic. Next is kind of some advice. So this is going to be kind of the advice segment. And my advice to you, I'm going to refresh first because I think I'm lagging again. Okay. So my advice today is how to write songs from a beginner songwriter. Because I'm pretty new to this. I think it's a great thing to jump into if you're a musician. Even if you're not a singer, I think it's cool to write songs. So number 1 is think of musicians, bands you like, why you like their music, and make that some sort of your inspiration to figure out what kind of style you like, what kind of music you think that you would feel comfortable producing, because I think it helps to have encouragement from other successful musicians to kind of figure out what you like and how you want to go about your own music and what kind of style you like. And number 2 is don't focus on one thing for too long. You don't want to sit there and be overwhelmed by writing music. You don't want to sit there overwhelmed by figuring out how you want to go about your rhythm or melody. Focus on writing. Focus on your lyrics. Focus on how you want it to sound lyrically. And once you start to get tired of that, go to a instrument, whether that be piano for you, guitar, whatever you feel comfortable with, and just try and figure out your melody, figure out your rhythm, play around, have fun with it, make it as fun as you can, because it's a fun experience. I think it's so cool to be able to hone in on your skills and just make something amazing out of it. Once you get tired of that, once you get bored of it, go back to the drawing board. Try and combine those lyrics that you wrote before and that music rhythm that you played, and see how you can expand on it, whether that be add more lyrics, whether that be change it up, and whether that be going back and forth multiple times over and over again. Just try and make it as fun as you can. Try not to get too overwhelmed, whether that be, this could be an hour project, this could be a whole day. Just kind of figure out what time you have, how much time you want to invest in this. I'm lagging again. I need to get a better computer. Okay. It's great that I fixed it. I'm just switching to 4K. Well, this is 1440. And then back to 1080p. And then it smooths it out for like 5 minutes. Okay. But yeah, this could be fun. Just make it as fun as you can. And yeah, and then if you have any more questions or advice that you think I can give based on my experience, or just things you want me to try, I would love to try a new thing and try and encourage people to try that, and just give some of my insight on that thing. Next week I want to encourage you to what was it? I don't remember, but it's another thing that I think is cool that I've been doing or trying to do. But yeah, the third thing, the last thing I want to cover in this podcast is responding to comments. I want to try and answer questions, talk about things you might want me to expand on from the previous episode, or answer questions, whatever. I'm just going to respond to comments, as many comments as I can, as many comments as I want to, just depending on how many comments I get. Of course, I don't have any comments because it's the first episode. So yeah, that's kind of all I have. So I thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I just hope that you will join me again next week as I cover a song that kind of was a big topic when I was in college with a few of my friends and other students. So yeah, that's it. Bye.